21st of February 2023. Why this date might be significant. On page 13 of the Memoirs of Billy Shears, Billy tells us that, after discussing my undertakings in his name, Paul said, "You will be released on the 21st of February 2014. I asked for a 9-year extension for more tours." The number 9 is familiar to followers of this story, since anything to do with McCartney relates back to that number. A 9-year extension brings us up to the 21st of February 2023. Note the numerology. It's interesting that Chapter 1 of Memoirs starts on page 13, since this is a number favoured by occultists and, among other things, refers back to card 13 of the major arcana of a tarot deck, which is death. The 9 years from the 21st of February 2014 to the 21st of February 2023 is equivalent to 3,288 days, including both dates. This reduces to 21 and then 3, which is the number of magic and creativity. After discussing the significance of specific playing cards and chess pieces in relation to the Beatles themselves, Billy then says this on page 96 of Memoirs. Our ace of spades is Paul. I am the queen of lonely hearts. My queen role in chess makes me the most powerful piece on the chessboard. I, queen, rule the beetle beast through my power from the most valued piece, the king. As long as the king goes on, the queen has power. It is the same even now. As Paul continues, I have power in his name. Paul's discontinuance would bring an end to nearly all of my work as well. It would be my retirement. Firstly, the Ace of Spades is the death card in cartomancy. And secondly, let's look at the numerology. 96 reduces to 15 and then 6. Billy considers 6 to be the number that reflects himself. Card number 15 of the major arcana is the Devil. Card number 6 is the Lovers. In this case, the Lovers are the king and queen of this Masonic chessboard, Paul and Billy. Ovid's Fasti is a series of books describing the festivals and rituals on any given day of the ancient Roman calendar. According to the second volume of Ovid's Fasti, the 9-day festival of PARENTALIA begins on the 13th of February and ends with FERALIA on the 21st of February each year. This whole festival is a commemoration of the dead. FERALIA on the 21st of February was an important public holiday, where all other activities ceased, and citizens had to visit the graves of their departed relatives in order to give them offerings of garlands, lit candles, and food. They would even share a picnic by their gravesides. Also, according to Ovid, the Romans once neglected FERALIA during a time that they were in battle. The spirits of their dead relatives then rose out of their graves and came back to haunt them in retaliation for being forgotten. After this event, FERALIA was always observed. This practice is mirrored in many other cultures. The Celts had Samhain, the Mexicans have the Day of the Dead, the Japanese have Oban, the Chinese have the Festival of the Hungry Ghosts, and the Indians have Prita. They are all similar festivals which honour departed ancestry. If the spirit of Paul has decided that he is moving on, this means Billy has to publicly retire from his role as Paul. This is in concord with his statement on page 96 of Memoirs. If the late Paul McCartney really did choose the 21st of February 2023 to release Billy, the irony of the date is not lost on me, since it is also Shrove Tuesday. Shrove Tuesday is a Christian festival marking absolution from sin. Considering the satanic basis of Paulism, it almost seems like a joke that Paul would have chosen this date to move on from possessing Billy. Shrove Tuesday is also the day before Ash Wednesday, which is the first day of Lent. On Ash Wednesday, the palms used from the previous year's Palm Sunday, the Sunday before Easter, are burnt, and the ashes from them are used to mark a cross on the forehead of those attending Mass. Lent is a 46-day period of abstinence, where Christians sacrifice something for this period. Typically, this sacrifice is giving up chocolate or alcohol, and is often accompanied by fasting for certain hours of the day. Since satanic practices are often Christian ones reversed or inverted, perhaps when the spirit of Paul finally moves on, the dark cabal are planning to do exactly this during Lent in 2023. We are told that Billy is, among other gods, the reincarnated Egyptian god Horus. It's interesting to note that the Egyptian god Horus has no story detailing his own death. His mythology is simply merged into the mythology of the falcon-headed sun god Ra to form one concept known as Ra Hority. Ra in this form is also shown with a sun disk above his head, with a cobra coiled around it, as does Ra's consort, Hathor. Hathor was responsible for replacing the Eye of Horus when he lost it in battle with his uncle Set. Hathor is also associated with the Eye of Ra, due to its female lunar aspect. This is in dualistic balance to the male solar aspect of the Eye of Horus. Hathor was known to cross boundaries between worlds to help deceased souls transition to the afterlife. She is also associated with cows. Ra was likewise associated with bulls, although while in the underworld he is shown with a ram's head. Billy Shepherd is thought to have been born in 1937, which according to the Chinese is the year of the ox. The morning aspect of Ra is said to be the scarab beetle god of the rising sun, Capri. The evening manifestation of Ra is said to be the rammed-headed god, Khnum. Ra was also later merged with Amun to form Amun-Ra. Amun was one of the Hermopolitan Ogdoad, central to the Egyptian creation mythology, and is also associated with rams. In later depictions, he is shown painted blue, like Krishna in Hindu tradition. Amun was worshipped by the Greeks in Thebes as a form of Zeus. That's a lot of gods. When they say Billy embodies gods, they're not joking. Let's consider the symbolism of rams, which seems to be a repeating concept. Rams, like bulls, are animals of sacrifice. In 1971, Billy and Linda released their Ram album. We are told in Memoirs on page 148 that RAM stands for Radical Appearance Modification to replace A. McCartney. The album front cover shows Billy the shepherd holding the ram by the horns, which is also symbolically himself. This is in reference to the Bible story from Genesis 22, where Abraham's chosen son was replaced by a ram caught by his horns in a thicket. Billy is both the replacing ram, but also in control of that beast. We are also told that there are Kabbalistic meanings to this story, since this tradition was passed down from the Sumerians until possessed by Abram, who Enlil, Yahweh, renamed Abraham. Note the numerology. 148 reduces to 13 and then 4. Card number 4 of the major arcana is the Emperor, who demonstrates a fatherly figure in control. He provides structure protection, and fearless, practical ambition. This is Billy as the shepherd. Card number 13 is death, which relates back to the death of Paul. So, after the 21st of February 2023, will Billy be sacrificed like the ram? Will he fly off to form a newly risen sun, like the winged scarab beetle god Capri? Will Billy fake his own death? Or will Billy just quietly retire, never to be seen by the public again? We will have to wait and see. Finally, I just wanted to add these pictures taken from Memoirs. These pillars of binary code are taken from page 100 of Memoirs. In keeping with Masonic numerology, they are 33 layers thick. When the binary code is converted back into text, they spell out the lyrics to The End from Abbey Road. This is probably my favourite piece of encoding in Memoirs.